Hello and welcome to this microchip tutorial video on installing SoftConsole version 6.0 with Renode on Ubuntu. There are several steps you have to take when installing SoftConsole on Ubuntu. The first is to download a copy of the installer and the release notes. Then you have to make the installer executable and run it to install SoftConsole. Once you've run the installer, there are several post-install commands that have to be run. And finally, sources for the monocomplete package need to be added, and then the monocomplete package needs to be installed. So now let's have a look at how to set up and install SoftConsole on Ubuntu. The first thing I need to do is download a copy of the SoftConsole release notes and the installer from the Microsemi website. The easiest way to do this is to go to microsemi.com/FPGA. Once you're there, go to the FPGA and SoC Design Tools section. Once the page is opened, you can select SoftConsole from the left-hand side. This will take you to the SoftConsole product page, and you can select the Downloads tab to find a link to the installer and release notes. And I'm going to select SoftConsole version 6 download for Linux. From here, you can sign in with your Microsemi SoC portal account username and password, and if you don't have an account, you can click New User at the bottom to set one up. Once you've signed in with your SoC portal account, you can click on the link to start the download of SoftConsole. If you get a pop-up warning, you can simply allow pop-ups to allow the download to continue. While that downloads, I'm also going to go and download a copy of the release notes too. Now that they've finished downloading, I'm going to open up my downloads folder. So you can see I now have a copy of the installer and the release notes. So if I just open up the release notes now, and if I go to the installation section and then Linux and then installing. So this outlines to you what the SoftConsole installer is, and it says it's a 64-bit program that has to be installed on the 64-bit operating system, and it gives you the name, and that's just this file here. So when you download the installer, you have to ensure that the executable permission bit is set before running it. And you can do this by opening a terminal in the folder with the installer and using a chmod +x followed by the name of the installer command to actually set this bit. And then once you've done that, you can run the installer by running // and the name of the installer. So if I open a terminal in my download folder now, I can just type in chmod +x and then mi followed by a tab to set the executable bit, and then run // and the name of the installer to run the installer. When you do this, a window will pop up to ask if you want to launch the installation wizard. Sometimes this window might not come up or you can't find it. If that's the case, you can run the installer in console mode, and I'll show you how to do that now. So it's shown in the release notes, and all you have to do is type in // and the name of the installer followed by -- mode console. So if I do that now and type in -- mode console, the installer will launch, but in this case it'll run in the console and I won't be given a GUI. So if I stop that, I'm going to go back and run the installer in GUI mode. So now that the installation wizard is launched, I'm going to click Next, and I can accept the terms in the license agreement. And then this is just some README information. Next I'll be shown the install path for SoftConsole. And then finally there's just a summary of the installation, and then the installation will begin. So now that the installation is complete, I've just got a reminder message that there are some post-installation steps that need to be carried out before I can successfully use SoftConsole on Linux. So I'm going to click Next and then select Finish to complete the installation. So now that I've done that, I can return to the release notes and then go to the After Installing section. And this section lists off several commands that have to be run before you can use SoftConsole successfully. And the first is to debug hardware targets. A 32-bit package needs to be installed, and the following commands need to be run with root or sudo privileges. And you can see that there are commands here for Ubuntu and Debian, and I'm going to copy and paste them directly from the release notes into my terminal. So if I return to the terminal and then just make myself root, and now I can paste the commands directly from the release notes into the terminal. Now there is an error that can occur where you can see it's printed out the standard C library package that needs to be installed, and this is because there was a new line between the actual apt get install and the name of the package. So I can fix this by going back and simply typing in apt-get install and then the name of the package. And if I hit enter now, it'll run and it should come up with some packages to install. So now that that's finished, I can go back and run the next set of commands, which are to install GCC and make, which should be installed by default, but it's just as easy to check and make sure that they're installed anyway. So I can copy the Ubuntu command directly from the release notes and paste it into my terminal. So if I run that, it comes up and says that Build Essential is already the newest version and that no packages had to be upgraded or installed. So once again, if I return to the release notes, the last step I have to do is install the packages for Mono by following the link in the release notes and then installing Mono Complete instead of Mono Develop. And the command to do that is listed below. So if I click on the link and go to the Mono project website, it'll take me to the download section, and you can see that I'm already in the Linux heading and then I'm running Ubuntu. So I'm running Ubuntu 16.04 and I can just copy the install commands or the add sources commands from the Mono downloads page and paste them directly into my terminal. And the final command I have to run is an apt update. So I'm going to copy and paste that directly into my terminal. So now that that's completed, I can return to the release notes, and the last thing I have to do is copy and paste the install command for Ubuntu into my terminal. So it can take some time for all of the Mono packages to download and install, so it's best just to leave it run. So now that that's complete, I can close my terminal and the release notes and then check and make sure that my SoftConsole installation has been successful. So I can launch SoftConsole by double clicking on the shortcut on my desktop. So when you launch SoftConsole, there are actually two included workspaces you can choose from: a workspace.empty, which doesn't contain any projects, and then a workspace.examples which includes several sample projects, and I'm going to launch from that one now. Now that SoftConsole is opened, the first thing I want to point out is that on the first launch, the C/C++ indexer is going to be running, and if you try to do anything when that's running, you can get an error. So I'm going to try and close the unrelated projects to the RV32IM Cystic Blinky project. So you can see the indexer is still running and the projects haven't yet closed. So I'm going to wait and let the indexer finish running. You can see it's now closed the projects and it's come up with an error, and it says that the SmartFusion 2 Cortex-M3 Blinky project is not open, and that's because it's already shuttered. So this error can actually be ignored, as it's not really a problem. I was just trying to do something while the indexer was running. So now that we've done that, I just want to check that my Renode installation or my Renode setup is correct. And I can test this by using the external tools configurator. And in here you can see there are two pre-set up Renode emulation platforms, a Mi5 Renode emulation platform and a PolarFire SoC Renode emulation platform. I'm going to test and launch the Mi5 Renode emulation platform. So you can see once I've hit run, Renode has launched for me and my UART analyzer has also launched. So this shows that I've successfully installed Renode and SoftConsole. And to remove any of your terminated launches, you can click on the double X icon here. So to summarize everything that was done, I downloaded a copy of the installer and the release notes from the Microsemi website. I made the installer executable using a chmod+x command and ran it to install SoftConsole. I ran several post-install commands to add packages, and then I also added the sources and installed MonoComplete. We have a significant amount of supporting material available on the Microsemi website, which you can find by going to microsemi.com/FPGA and then going to the Mi5 RISC-V ecosystem and the Renode webinar series tab.